that we Nigerians, we can survive at any time, at any place.
Was when Chidinma Idemoh won the gold medal in the 1990s in Atlanta.
When Chidinma and the band won the Nigerians are talented.
My proud Nigerian moment was when we were able to fight Ebola. Nigerians are strong and powerful people. We stand and fight together in our times.
In African literature today, Nigerian literature is seen as one of the best. Wole Soyinka won the laureate, and today Chimamanda is making waves among other young writers. This is my proud.
Our proud Nigerian movement may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians. Proud Nigeria moment is that we Nigerians, we can survive at any time, at any place.
Was when Chidinma Idemoh won the gold medal in the 1990s in Atlanta.
When Chidinma and the band won BET Award in 2011, the Nigerians are talented.
My proud Nigerian moment was when we were able to fight Ebola. Nigerians are strong and powerful people. We stand and fight together in our
Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to your preferred breakfast show. Yeah, come on, it's Rise and Shine, and of course, we're shining this morning. I'm sure you are too. My name is Otobasi Tom.
And I am Ubon Kings.
And I am Becky Bernard. You're welcome to the show. Making rounds these few days as Davido's proposed birthday party.
Oh my God.
That is coming up and it's trending because of the millions he raised in just 24 hours. Come on,
Less
guys.
than 24 hours.
Less than 24
In
hours.
six
Less than 24
hours,
hours,
he raised. In
rather.
6 hours, he raised almost a little below 120 million naira.
Yeah.
And we will be looking for money as little as 10,000. We ask everybody. We
There's
know
money in
cannot
this
raise
country, guys. There's money in this
my
country.
goodness.
I think that can be traced to the fact that Davido is a man of the people. Davido is
So should he go into governorship or something?
At a point, he
Should
was
be
invited.
aspiring
Remember,
for
he was
a seat.
invited to. Was it Oshun? Yes, it was
Osun State, yeah.
Osun State to help with the campaign. At the time, his uncle was contesting
It's
for
not
the
for election,
gubernatorial
yeah.
elections.
That didn't really
The
go
dancing
well.
senator, I guess.
Oh, I
Okay,
guess.
so he's a man of the people. He's someone that a lot of persons can easily relate with, and of course,
Yeah.
he has always been there to help young acts
That's
to come
right.
up. So he's calling them out now. It's time to show love to
Show
Davido. Come
love.
on.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't have the money. Oh.
Yeah,
He has it. I think
Somebody once said he's gotten broke.
No, it's
That
not
there's a
broke.
possibility he's broke. He doesn't have so much money to throw around, so he has to do crowdfunding for his birthday. Different schools of thought,
I
really.
doubt. I think he's towing the line of Obi Kubana. You remember
Oh,
the time he
really?
was actually burying his mother.
Yeah.
So friends came around and they were
And
able
helped
to
raise
raise
a
a
whole
whole lot
lot
of
of money
money.
for
So
him.
I think he's trying his stunt. Let me see how popular I am. Let me see
And-
how
And he's
I'm
doing
loved,
great
you
at
know.
it. He's
I
doing
think I
great
saw
at it.
something on his post. He said, show love to Davido. Even though you're really my friend, you're my fan, show love. So I think they are really showing that everybody wants to identify.
Quite a
with
number of
the
persons
superstar.
have identified at the moment, and I'm not at liberty to give all the names yet.
Yeah,
But then again, I'm interested to know that one of his mantra or his mantra that he lives by is he says we'll rise by
lifting
lifting
others.
others
Yes.
up.
Exactly.
So I think this
That's-
is where he wants to see how many people really want to
And
lift him
I know
up
you don't
technically.
want to mention names of those.
No, not
who are
yet.
there. But then this very particular individual is so funny that people are actually saying she's doing it. Sophia Mamadou, one of his
Okay.
baby mamas, the first one. So she's actually, people are saying she's just giving it so that she will go back the other way and
Get it back.
kind of a thing.
But you
Oh,
know,
well.
people are actually responding and away from Davido. Nigerian youth actually calling out their friends to show love. I mean, especially among ladies. You know, it's like women encouraging women.
Or
Yeah.
women supporting women.
Women supporting women. So I think if you have a friend, go ahead and
hope this
That's if you have.
Yeah.
It will
It's
become a
trending.
I
trend.
hope it doesn't
It
become
will
like
become.
everybody
a
can
trend.
now go online and put up account number and say, "Oh, start sending me money."
And I think somebody will say this is a higher version of the urgent 2K.
Yeah.
I need urgent
that.
2K. I need urgent 2K.
This one is not
now.
urgent 2K.
And you just
We're
meet
talking
someone for
about
the first time. You're
millions,
just talking, and you say, my brother, it's something just happened now. Something's always happening.
Exactly.
Something's always happening. Just urgent. It's always urgent 2K. It's never more than 2K.
Yeah, so
But
it's
then-
Friday. Come on, urgent 2K
2K
should
should
be
come.
coming up.
All right, we'll take it for us right now and join up with the news text as we bring to you news brief. And when that is over, the show continues. Please stay.
People of diversity.
We need to find our strength in diversity.
A people of many tongues.
Ina farin ciki da zama na ɗan Najeriya.
On the way to see Nigeria. So Nigeria up for.
Let's look at that thing that unites us together, which is the flag. Many hold a strong sense of passion for this nation. All they need, it seems, is a little nudge, a reminder. We see it in our proud Nigerian moments.
Our proud Nigerian moment may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians.
We look up once again to the flag as a symbol of hope, sharing in it the story of hope and victory, rekindling the spirit of patriotism, reminding every Nigerian that Nigeria is worth the try. Nigeria, arise. Nigeria, God. Let's not forget what makes us who we are. Indeed, we are a people of diversity.
We need to find our strength in diversity.
A people of many tongues.
Ina farin ciki da zama na ɗan Najeriya.
On the way to see Nigeria. So Nigeria up for.
Let's look at that thing that unites us together, which is the flag. Many hold a strong sense of passion for this nation. All they need, it seems, is a little nudge, a reminder. We see it in our proud Nigerian moments.
Our proud Nigerian moment may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians.
We look up once again to the flag as a symbol of hope, sharing in it the story of hope and victory, rekindling the spirit of patriotism, reminding every Nigerian that Nigeria is worth the try. Nigeria, arise. Nigeria, look up. Let's not forget what makes us who we are.
Zama na ɗan Najeriya.
On the way.
SpectrumTv news brief at this hour. I am Bright James. We begin with reports that the federal government says it is awaiting pronouncements from state government on panels set to probe police brutality in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari said these at the State House in Abuja while receiving in audience the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. Now to education, where the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, is ready to renegotiate its initial agreement with the federal government on the revitalization of universities. The agreement was reached at the meeting with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Bajabiamila, at the National Assembly yesterday. Now to more legislative matters, where the House of Representatives is asking the federal government to provide sophisticated weapons for officers guarding correctional centers in the country to prevent further jailbreaks. The directive followed the unanimous adoption of a motion by Gwaji Kozari at plenary on possible dangers posed by escaping inmates. In health, 61 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed in Nigeria. This has raised the country's total so far to 213,464. Making up the new leagues are 16 cases in Gombe, 15 in Taraba, 14 in Zamfara, 7 in the FCT, 2 each in Kano and Lagos and Rivers State, as well as 1 each in Bauchi, Delta and Katsina states. Now to the foreign scene, where United States has announced criminal charges against 2 Iranians it accused of launching a cyber disinformation campaign to meddle in the 2020 U.S. presidential election. The U.S. alleged that the campaign targeted voters as well as elected members of Congress and a U.S. media company. Now to sports. Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, has refuted the reports that he sacked the Super Eagles head coach, General. President of the Federation, Amajumel Pinnick, said the reports circulating on both local and international media were false. Details of this and more stories in our news bulletin at 12. I am Bright James. Thank you for joining. Now let's get back to the Rise and Shine crew for the continuation of the program.
Many hold a strong sense of passion for this nation. All they need, it seems, is a little nudge, a reminder. We see it in our proud Nigerian moments.
Our proud Nigerian moment may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians.
We look up once again to the flag as a symbol of hope, sharing in it the story of hope and victory, rekindling the spirits of patriotism, reminding every Nigerian that Nigeria is worth the try. Nigeria, arise. Nigeria, look up. Let's not forget what makes us who we are. Indeed, we are a people of diversity.
We need to find our strength in diversity.
A people of many tongues.
Ina farin ciki da zama na ɗan Najeriya.
On the way to see Nigeria. So Nigeria offer. Let's look at that thing that unites us together, which is the flag.
Many hold a strong sense of passion for this nation. All they need, it seems, is a little nudge, a reminder. We see it in our proud Nigerian moments.
Our proud Nigerian moment may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians.
We look up once again to the flag as a symbol of hope, sharing in it the story of hope and victory, rekindling the spirits of patriotism, reminding every Nigerian that Nigeria is worth the try. Nigeria, arise. Nigeria, look up. Let's not forget what makes us who we are. Indeed, we are a people of diversity.
We need to find our strength in diversity.
A people of many tongues.
Ina farin ciki da zama na ɗan Najeriya.
On the way to see Nigeria. So Nigeria offer. Let's look at that thing that unites us together, which is the flag.
Many hold a strong sense of passion for this nation. All they need, it seems, is a little nudge, a reminder. We see it in our proud Nigerian moments.
Our proud Nigerian moment may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians.
We look up once again to the flag as a symbol of hope, sharing in it the story of hope and victory, rekindling the spirit of patriotism, reminding every Nigerian that Nigeria is worth the try. Nigeria, arise. Nigeria, look up. Let's not forget what makes us who we are.
It's great to have you back, and in case you're just joining in, this is Rise and Shine Daily, the Friday edition, of course, reaching from the stables of Spectrum Television right here in the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, just before we get started, we would like you to be part of the show. Just get into our different social media handles.
That's right.
Yes, on www.spectrumtv.ng. Of course, you can find us on Facebook
and
on Instagram. We'll be here to take your reactions. Our topic for today will basically be on agriculture.
That's right.
Now, agriculture, which has now become the center of Nigerian economy, becoming the center of, providing for Nigeria. We grow there's different types of farming that we have, like we have the subsistence farming, and we also have the commercial farming. Now let's look at agriculture as a body. Recently Buhari, our president, has encouraged the youth to go into farming. Do something. You have a farmland, plant something, grow. We have different kinds of farming. We can go into snail farming, poultry, maybe plantation and all that.
Now, I think we should narrow it down to a particular part of farming. Now, farming as a whole is quite very large.
Yes, exactly.
Because we have the fishery, like you talked about. Now, let's look at crops. Because recently we've discovered that prices of commodities in the market are just very high, on the high side. It leaves us with a question: is it that people are not farming? What's going on in our agricultural sector? So,
let's first start with the fact that many times, let's say over the years, past administrations have tried to woo young people into farming, into agriculture generally, but you find out that they don't make it attractive enough for young people. The average young person doesn't see agriculture as very welcoming, so to speak. Okay, now one of the reasons is the fact that getting facilities, especially facilities from banks, loans, and all of that, to start up or to continue your business, especially as regards to farming and all the rest, or agriculture generally, is kind of hard.
Well, basically, we have farming. The northern part of Nigeria, they are known for farming. They have large farms, and could be, they have access to those facilities you talked about. Right? But in this part of the world, especially in the south, where we have mostly oil, people depending on oil, we seem to have difficulties to go into large-scale farming. What happens around here is most times subsistence, just for my family and I. I have a little garden behind. I have potato there, I have vegetable there, I have cassava there, like pretty much everything in that one farm. And there's no room for, say,
selling.
Exactly. So I feel governments at this end, which of course the Governor Dom Emmanuel's administration is also doing something about that, by the coconut plantation, like the tomato, and also the, what's it called? Cucumber, exactly. But that is at the government level, which pretty much might not last. Let me not say so. Let me not say will not.
Because we have a problem of sustainability. That is the issue.
Exactly.
Now, it may interest you to know that the president of Nigeria and the president of Muhammadu Buhari had on Tuesday charged some industry key holders, key makers, decision makers, to make sure young people have access to facilities to be able to, of course, go into agriculture, because this is coming on the backdrop of the fact that most young people don't have access to these things. You said something. You said something about the North having lands and all of that and they being into that. The truth of the matter is, back here we have the same thing. It's an orientation problem, as far as I'm concerned. Because in this part of the world, you find out that most people would rather be boys to boys that are boys to boys, right? A PA to an SA to an SA to a PA, right? Rather than actually look at something else that they could do with themselves, and that's where the government at the center is now saying, hey, we are creating an enabling framework for you young people to actually access these facilities, and by the time you access this,
is it easy. Actually accessible?
From the interview that he granted, from the press statement rather, he granted through his media aid, he made it clear that this is going to be accessible.
Now, I would like to establish the fact that agriculture is extremely capital intensive.
Yes, it is.
If you must get into it, I think most of our young persons are into poultry farming these days. You have more of people rearing chickens and all that, but you find out that feed is extremely expensive.
Now, let me tell you something.
An average person who basically is struggling to feed and maybe keep up with lifestyle would find it difficult to buy a bag of feed, which is pretty much about 5,000 and above.
It's more than that.
And to feed chickens who eats day and night.
They eat rapidly. That's the word.
Exactly.
Like,
So you see that at the point they get these dogs out, they may not make much profit enough to continue with the business.
And then don't forget the fact that our weather here is funny. Sometimes you think the temperature is good enough for this chicken to stay, but somehow you come back the following day, you found some dead already.
Back to farming. You're talking about the weather. A few months back, in fact, the whole of this year it's been raining. Now, specifically a few months back, the market women are complaining that a lot of things are expensive, especially water leaf. Especially the farmers, that they cannot plant. I mean, during water leaf doesn't really grow during a rainy season. Now, climate change too, affects agriculture, affects farming. So apart from high cost of maybe feeds for chicken and all that, agriculture we don't really, water leaf we don't need. So the climate too contributes to high cost of things.
At least,
now you look at the things that sorry to cut you. You look at the things, some of the food that comes in from the north, like tomatoes, talk about potatoes, and then rice and rice and cassava has been posted as the two most profitable farming in Nigeria. Now rice, we talk about people smuggling rice into the country because of maybe taxes and all that. So these are the things that also add up to high cost of agricultural produce.
In Nigeria. Yes, and then you talked about climate. There's some things you can't control. You can't naturally control them. But then again, there are other ones that you have a power to control. Number one is government policies. Number two is orientation of the people to that particular field. And then again, you must understand one thing. It's one thing for government to make provision for something or make something available, accessible. Yet another thing for the people to come forward.
Exactly. I think in the area of sensitization, a lot of persons have woken up, a lot of Nigerians and people have woken up to the fact that we have to get into agriculture. I've seen a lot of young people now participating or rearing chickens, like I said, and also going to other forms of farming. But be that as it may, they still have little setbacks which will be discussed subsequently in this show when we bring in our guests. So at this point, I think we should check out the weather report. Becky talked about weather being
here and
just
there.
know whether it's going to rain today or not. If that's the weather report comes up now.
Because to some public schools and non-existent.
Hi everybody, this is Becky Bernard. You're on to Rise and Shine Show. Hello Nigeria, welcome to Rise and Shine Show. My name is Otobasi Tom.
This is Rise and Shine. My name is Ubong Kings.
Let's not forget what makes us who we are. Indeed, we are a people of diversity.
We need to find our strength in diversity.
A people of many tongues.
Ina farin ciki da zama na ɗan Najeriya.
On the road, we need to see Nigeria. So, Nigeria, all for. Let's look at that thing that unites us together, which is the flag.
Many hold a strong sense of passion for this nation. All they need, it seems, is a little nudge, a reminder. We see it in our proud Nigerian moments.
Our proud Nigerian moment may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians.
We look up once again to the flag as a symbol of hope, sharing in it the story of hope and victory, rekindling the spirits of patriotism, reminding every Nigerian that Nigeria is worth the try. Nigeria, arise. Nigeria, look up.
Yes, it is Rise and Shine, and the subject is still on agriculture. So if you're a farmer out there, get on, let's chat more on social media, on Facebook, and of course on Instagram, all of which you can find at www.spectrumtelevision.ng. Okay, yes, the show continues.
And we have a guest in the house this morning, a beautiful lady, a person of Mrs. Gloria Chidinma Idemoh. She's an entrepreneur and the International Programs Director of Achievers Advocates International Foundation. She is also the CEO of Idemoh Resources. I hope I got that right. And she produces things ranging from coconut oil, carrot oil, and lemon oil. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
I'm really excited. Okay.
Great.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
Yeah.
So,
but you look too good to be a farmer.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I get to look all the time. And, man, farming is more than this. So
Are
we
you
go
saying-
there, when we get to the field, we take off these things and we get to work. Yeah,
It's good to know that.
Thank you.
Okay, basically we're talking about agriculture,
Okay.
the different sectors of agriculture and different types of agriculture rather, and then particularly to young people because our president has encouraged us to go into farming, and we understand that you produce coconut oil, carrot oil, lemon oil, and beans flour. Please throw more light on that.
I'll talk about the different sectors of agriculture before I talk about my business. Basically, we have the producers, we have the off-takers, and we also have those that buy from the middle, from the farmers.
Okay.
So, you see, young people, they are not interested in farming because they see it as a very meager, menial job and they don't want to get involved.
Okay.
But it can actually be an off-taker where you just go to buy these products from the farmers. And for me, I'm on the field and I also buy from these farmers.
Okay.
Like I'm into oil palm cultivation and
Okay.
also maize cultivation, and I'm also an off-taker. But for my business, I buy coconut from the farmers, and that's me being the middleman and buying from them. But for oil palm, I'm in the farm, like I'm working, I'm planting, So the young ones, they need to know that I think the basic thing is to have a mindset shift. Farming is not for the poor, it's not for the uneducated. I have a master's degree, but I still bend and I work. So because farming should be seen as a business. It should be, when people save and they invest into different kind of business, people should be able to invest into farming, and that's the only way we can actually produce, in larger quantities and earn from it. So
A lot of people don't get into farming, especially the young people, because they feel farming doesn't bring in much money like they would want to have it. So how would you explain the process? How can a typical farmer, like saying oil palm, maybe sell his produce without having go to the market or maybe make much money?
Okay, I think why people don't really make money from farming because they do a subsistence farming. So you just have a plot of land and you plant and you want to earn millions. That's not possible. So that's why I talk about the mindset shift, where people take loans to build houses. You take a loan and you start a big business. But for farming, they think, I should just sit at home. Government gives me input. So when you have that mindset that you're going to a business and you're taking agriculture as your business, then you can take loans, you can save and start your business in large scale. Then for the local farmer, how to make more money. Now they are off-takers. There are so many international markets. Okay, like me, I'm an off-taker, but there are no products. There are mills with high capacity, but there are no product, there are no inputs because we produce in small quantity rather. Okay. But the only way to make money as a farmer in Nigeria is to cultivate in large quantities.
Now you keep mentioning off-taker.
Yeah.
I would want a clear definition of who exactly or what is off-taking.
Okay, like the organization I partner with, Solidarity West Africa, they are into oil palm culture, and they want to. In fact, the project is for exportation of oil palm. Okay. So what they want to do is you cultivate, following our best management practice, following the international standard, and we buy from you. So that's off-taking.
Okay.
Yes, there's also a project on maize that they're ready to off-take. So it's just for the farmers to actually work hard and get that in large
So
quantities.
basically, apart from oil palm and the maize you just mentioned, is there any other aspect of or any particular crop that can actually be cultivated into what you're saying? Like maybe if a person cultivates, could also be an off-taker, so that can make more money.
Yeah, the thing is, whatever thing you are into, I did cucumber project last year, and we didn't have enough cucumber to export. This product, no matter how this farmer see it, it's not the SU
Okay, for this year, just itemize most of those products for the benefit of our viewer out there, so that they could know exactly which aspect
what
to get into.
we're basically doing now is oil palm.
Okay.
So we have cocoa, but not in Akwa Ibom State. We have vegetables and all of that, and maize. While we're talking about, we also have cassava. We have off-takers for cassava. Now, if a particular community wants to come together to cultivate a particular crop and they need a market for it, you can source for people to buy. But the issue is that they cultivate in small quantities. You know, imagine.
Okay, I get that.
Okay,
your issue now is the quantity.
Exactly.
So what's the quantity for someone to actually cultivate before it can become an off-taker?
We encourage. We'll talk about small border farmers. So we understand that people have one plot or less.
Okay.
But we want them to come together. Maybe women coming together,
like an organization.
Yes, like a farmer group come together and cultivate a particular thing. And then that's the only way we have access to sell in large quantities. You can't just sell one custard bucket. We want tons, we want trucks. You understand? So that's when it actually makes sense.
Now, away from that, before you came in, we were talking about the high rise in cost of agriculture. Now, talking about the increase in agricultural produce. Now, is there a way out? What could be done? Because most times we find that a lot of people cannot go to patronize farmers because some things are expensive. Now, we know there are factors maybe that could contribute to the high increase in agricultural produce. Take, for instance, water leaf. We made an example like that. So, in your opinion, what could be the way out for this high rise in agricultural product?
It's really an issue. I can tell you.
Let's talk about it.
I got herbicide. I think I bought it last 3 months ago, 2000, buying it at 5,800. So you can see the difference. So why we can't control the price? Because we have the people producing these things. Most times they are foreign companies. So when dollar goes up, the price will go up. So what we do for farmers is partnerships. So there are international organizations ready to partner with farmers at some point to provide or to subsidize the price of these things to them. So that's the only way out, partnership. And we have, I'm not supposed to mention some organization we have talks with now because we don't have a deal yet. But there are some organizations, there are some foreign partners we're trying to bring in to make herbicides, farm inputs available. But the problem most times is just still boils back to the farmers. Because, we tell them, let's give you inputs, let's just cultivate, and you see them, they are not serious about it. And most time you give them money, they use it to marry, they don't want to put it in the farm, you understand?
Yes.
So yes, there are partners ready to subsidize these things for farmers, and yes, we are working on
I was willing to talk about the money part of it because you mentioned earlier that someone can actually get a facility from the bank to go into farming. Are there particular banks that can specifically address issues of facilities to farmers? Because I know most of these commercial banks might not want to engage in those kind of stuff.
Thank you. So we have NASA, we have CBN loans, but the truth is the common farmer might not be able to meet the requirements.
That's the point.
So what we do in some communities, we tell them to form a farmer group. And we have this village loan and saving association where you save your 100 naira, 200 naira at the end of the year. We were surprised last year, just a group of 25 farmers were able to save 500,000. And they didn't know how just 200. So what we encourage farmers to do is join these associations. So you take loans, just soft loans from them, buy your maize, buy your whatever you want to buy, and that's the best thing. Getting this from savings, from associations, from cooperatives. And then when you are lucky to find partnerships.
Now, let me chip in something that you're talking about associations for farmers. Does it cut across, all the states in Nigeria or a particular state?
All the states. There are farmer groups in all the states. Why my organization, we're currently working in 4 states and just 6 local government. But there are farmer groups and there are cooperatives in all the states. When you go to these farmers, they know they have their cooperatives and they know how they go about their activities.
Initially, when we started this conversation, there's something you said, which I made mention of before you came on set, that there has to be a mind shift of most persons. And now you said something else here with regards to how farmers act and react when they have information that could better their trade. Most of them are reluctant. Most of them, some people think it's a scam and all of that. So now, how do you marry this reality with the expectation that we are supposed to have food sufficiency at a certain point in our national history?
We won't give up. We'll keep working. So that's why we have to increase our advocacy talks. We do a lot of advocacy talk. We gather these communities, we talk to them, we see. You have to let go of subsistence farming. Let go of 1 plot, 2 plots. Come together as a community to cultivate, in large quantity, and that's where you make money. So the way out is advocacy. We keep talking, we keep talking. Maybe if it's 2% mind shift is something. So that's what we've been doing. And then, is this bad? Now there's a very big farm owner who wanted to help out the people, and he just told them, come in, we just take care of a particular portion. When we sell, we give you a particular percentage. They didn't do it. They just wanted their daily 1,000. So it's basically the mindset shift for them to know that this is a business and we have to invest in it.
Yeah. Now
Okay. Is it possible that rather than talk to the farmers, you talk to the community leaders? They could actually, like a community, donate a particular portion of land and maybe make some kind of arrangement for a community farming system.
Oh, we've been doing that.
Okay.
We've been going to the community, but at the end of the day, it's still the farmers.
Yeah,
the community that will tell you, well, I've talked to them. If the women are interested, so we have been doing that. We'll keep doing that. So we've seen few changes, but not as much as we want. But we'll keep doing the advocacy.
Now, it seems as if this farmers per se, because sometimes people, the average Nigerian will feel a farmer will be maybe an old woman or an old man. Now, looking at her, she's young and beautiful, but she's still a farmer. So, now, what other type of farming can a young person go into? Because I know that some people will not want to, pick up a hoe, go into the farm till the floor. I can remember way back in our secondary schools when we take agriculture as a subject, and
it's time for practical.
It's time for practical. Okay, do this.
We'll find a way.
You find that people are like, okay, I don't offer that subject. So let's not shy away from agriculture. I want you to, throw more light on the different agricultural, aspects that a young person can actually go into and then still make profit. Because a lot of people do not want to, soil their hands. They don't want to fold their sleeves and work. Now, what are the things that could be profitable to the young Nigerian?
Well, for me, I started with advocacy.
Okay.
It was just the advocacy. And the thing is, when your voice is so strong and you're passionate about agriculture, maybe you want to change particular practices in a particular location, international organizations will hear you. Okay. They will reach out to you. They want to support you. So one of the ways you can go is through strong advocacy. You have to be very passionate and serious about it, and you will have partners. You have people coming to partner with you. And then, so in terms of advocacy, I found my other passion, farming. So I started learning the process. So instead of after my advocacy talks, I can actually organize trainings. You see, that's another way of making money. You plant for people, you get paid. You train them, you get paid. So you don't have to actually own this farmland and work every day. And most of the time, I don't have to work every day. I have workers, I have farmers. But the point is, I know what to tell them. So that's why you have to learn at the end of the day. So you can go through advocacy. You can actually be an off-taker. Go to a particular community. They do it all the time. They do it here. You can tell a community, I'll buy whatever you want to produce at a particular season. So that's another way you can go into farming. So you don't have to own those farms. You can actually be an off-taker too.
Now let's talk about some particular farming. Before you came in, we talked about poultry. Now, my colleague talked about the feeds being very expensive. Now, these are some challenges. What other challenges are farmers actually facing in agriculture?
Basically, I think before the input challenge, the major issue was off-taking. Like, where do we sell? Who do we sell to? So that was the major issue. And then we have international bodies coming in to buy from farmers. We also have the issue of labor. Child labor. They take their children to the farm instead of taking them to school. So it's a very big issue in this community. So we advise them, take them to school, don't bring them to farm. Carry somebody, pay the person. They're supposed to be in school, so don't encourage child labor. So they don't want to spend. What an average farmer wants to do? They want to work and take all the money. They want to spend another dime, let
the money stay with me.
Yes.
So that's why they bring family.
So that's why it's so stressful.
That could be because they don't have much of a profit margin. But I would like to find out. You said there are international bodies that farmers can actually sell their farm produce to. Are these international bodies accessible, or how can a farmer in the village know that if I have 2 drums of oil, okay, I can take it to this particular place and actually make good money from it?
Okay, for now, I can show you of oil palm and maize. For maize now, if any farmer here in Akwa Ibom State has up to like 10 hectares and you are producing according to international standard, you know we're talking about like sustainable agriculture and climate smart agriculture. Contact me. I will link you up to the international market. The issue is that we don't have these things in large quantities. That's just the issue.
Now, what are these standards? Because you keep mentioning international standards. Let's know what are the standards there.
Okay, so you need to come for
You're training, right?
Personal training, right? So we have GAP, Global Agricultural Practices, and we have Best Management Practices. Let me focus on oil palm. Now for oil palm, you know the individual practice where we leave our palm to shoot up and we have to climb to. We don't do that. Our palm is just this short and they produce like that for the next 25 years. So you need to plant the good hybrid, then the spacing, what to do. You don't, these are just little things. That when you apply it to your farm, you see that the bunches are bigger and you see it's according to international standards. So that's basically international standards.
Now, how can a farmer in the village have access to these hybrid seeds?
Oh, that's another issue.
You have to be part of the cooperative, yeah?
Yeah, so it's basically join the farmer group. If you're in your community, you can join the farmer group. Just take it up from there. The hybrids, they are not in Akwa Ibom State. And there's another opportunity for young people to learn how to raise nurseries. There is there are so many opportunities. People have to sit up. There are so many opportunities. Most times, I just want to scream because there's nobody to teach these things. People are not available. I'm learning to sprout. I want to raise nurseries. There are opportunities that they have to look. They have to come down to, see them. There are so many opportunities truly in oil palm. And why oil palm is the other oil? We call it the other oil because it's more expensive than oil. So that's one of the things people should look into. Oil palm training, and all of that.
Right now we are going to take a short break and we'll be looking at some things about agriculture and the encouragement that we got from our president. Don't go away.
You're okay now. You're good.
Let's not forget what makes us who we are. Indeed, we are a people of diversity.
We need to find our strength in diversity.
A people of many tongues.
Ina farin ciki da zama na ɗan Najeriya.
On the way we need to see Nigeria. So Nigeria offer. Let's look at that thing that unites us together, which is the flag.
Many hold a strong sense of passion for this nation. All they need, it seems, is a little nudge, a reminder. We see it in our proud Nigerian moments.
Our proud Nigerian moment may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians.
We look up once again to the flag as a symbol of hope, sharing in it the story of hope and victory, rekindling the spirit of patriotism, reminding every Nigerian that Nigeria is worth the try. Nigeria, arise. Nigeria, look up.
Agriculture in Nigeria is something that needs a lot of improvement and it's the economy of Nigeria. Nigeria, with its vast agricultural resources, needs to promote an economy that is not so much dependent on petroleum, but rather a diversified economy. It is not proper that a country of such potentials in agriculture should be running just an economy based on crude oil. In order for Nigeria to successfully diversify in economy and avoid the consequences of depending just on petrol, new innovations should be introduced to boost the agricultural sector. The country that properly takes care of its agricultural sector has done 60% for its economy because agriculture remains a bedrock of the society, irrespective of some government negligence. Here are some steps that can boost agriculture in Nigeria. Using improved implements and tools, maintaining good animal health, soil improvements, crop and animal improvements, better storage, processing and transportation method, packaging and preservation standard, and standardized price control.
You're welcome back. It's still Rise and Shine Daily, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiaki Oran. And we have a beautiful entrepreneur and a farmer in the house. So, in the person of, yes. So, we know that agriculture has evolved, and there are modern mechanisms that, farmers should, go into, use to cultivate their farming. We shouldn't suffer anymore. Technology has come to help us. So, what are those modern technologies that you feel there's someone in the village who doesn't have access to them, should know about it, and then maybe think of getting it for his or her family?
Well, like you said, agriculture has evolved,
Yes.
and we don't have to suffer too much.
Yes,
we
please.
don't have to be so difficult, and it shouldn't kill us. Okay, so like the oil palm, we're talking about gender inclusion.
Okay.
Because women, they are not in the value chain. You can't harvest because the thing is so long.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about hybrids. Palms that are short that you can harvest from the ground.
Yeah.
So that's inclusion. And then instead of using the machete, we have harvester. They are not expensive. You can get your chisel and just harvest from the ground. So instead of using the machete and doing all of that, you can use your wheelbarrow instead of a headpan to carry this fruit.
Wheelbarrow.
Then instead of using your cutlass to prune, also you can use chisels. You just stand and just pierce it, the branches will fall off. So you can use rake to gather the whatever instead of using your hands.
Well, let me cut you there. Now let's look at the issue of subsistence farming and farming in large scale. Now, you established that most of the farmers, when this is being brought to bear for them, they seem to shy away from it. Then is there a way your company or most of these organizations that are coming in, can they make most of these modern farming equipments like the tractor, the plow? It's kind of tedious to have people, when it's time for farming, cut the farm. Instead of having a tractor just pull down everything and clear the ground, and it will be a lot simpler. Is there a way the international organizations can come in and bring in most of these modern equipments that could aid large-scale farming?
Yes, it's very possible. We can partner to help, farming in large quantity or large scale. But the truth is, the issue is not the clearing and all of that. Okay. The issue is that the smallholder farmer in his or her small farm is still not doing what. See, the goal is for a smallholder farmer in that little farm to increase the yield he or she gets in that little farm. Now, we're not talking the big farmers, they can afford to get all the tractors. We're talking about the smallholder farmer. In your small space, you should be able to harvest more. If you are harvesting like a ton in your small hectare, we want it to increase. Okay. So that's just the goal. So we can do that, but doing that will be like, we're not telling the communities to go and clear off everywhere and plant. We're telling them to put in more effort in their small space. Okay. Applying these practices, and then you see that their yield will increase. So
all right. Now let me jump right in. Let's look at agricultural administration, so to speak. You said quite a lot, yes, but I'm looking at the role of governments put side by side these international organizations, because somebody once said once the center is not stable, there's a possibility that it will cascade down to all the other states, right? So now, where exactly, in what capacity does these international organizations come in helping or partnering with government, seeing that we have need, especially in the agricultural sector?
That's right.
Right. So for administration, is not a top bottom, is a bottom top approach that we're using. Okay, this project Nice Crops is for smallholder farmers, and we've seen that the power should be in the hands of the farmers. They should be able to make their own decisions. So without them, of course, the CEOs and the big companies can't even have access to this thing. So the power is in the hands of the people. So it's a strong bond. They decide who buys from them. They decide who they sell to, and they decide everything. So that's why the administration is strong and it cannot fall. They can decide to, we're no longer interested in partnering with this company, and they can go to another company. So that's the method we're using now, giving the power to the people. So they have the ultimate. What government does is, policies, partnerships to make sure that they work in a friendly environment and all of that. But the real power is in the hands of the people. So that's the process we're using. That's the method that works for us.
Okay. Away from that, let's narrow down to the benefits of agriculture. Now, you've already, encouraged the young people to go into agriculture. Can you, also tell them the benefits of agriculture?
Well, everybody wants to be self-employed and an entrepreneur. So the good thing about agriculture is, apart from it being therapeutic, this joy of planting and seeing whatever you plant.
That's right.
Man,
that sense of gratification.
Yes. It's amazing how I just see these tiny things grow, and then so it's therapeutic for me. So one of the benefits of going into agriculture is where you can start in your own space.
Okay.
It's stressful, it's not easy, you need money, you need time, but the benefit is you cultivate whatever you eat and you have access to, you have to sell it out, and also you are contributing to the food system. We're talking about climate change, and how do we do that? By going back to our green economy. So that's basically one of the benefits of going to agriculture. You make money, you come back to the communities, we help the old people know better, teach them better ways of cultivating.
Okay. Just before we go, we wrap it up here. Is there other methods of making money from most of these farm produce apart from selling it like a raw material? Is there a way that farmers can be given orientation on packaging and all those kind of processing, preservatives, so that if there are some kind of seasonal fruits or seasonal crops that are there, like the corn, the maize, and all those stuff, is there a way they have been taught on how to preserve most of these things and maybe package them and sell them in the market?
Yes, like I'll talk about maize. Like for maize now, we're not harvesting fresh maize. You allow it to dry and you sell. So there's no need of, there's no packaging, there's nothing. So
how
just
about the pests that affects maize?
The paste from the maize.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about for those manufacturers and producers. We've seen that it's best we sell our products to the big companies that actually can buy at a higher price than us, doing the whole process. But we can actually encourage young people to go into packaging, food packaging, and all of that.
I think you got it wrong. When she said pests, I think she was talking
pests
about insects. All those things that affect.
Okay, before the corn gets dried out.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you. When you're working with us or partnering with us, we have the technical expertise. We follow you all through because we don't want anything to happen to.
Can you quickly share one or two or three of those technical expertise for the benefit of our viewer?
Okay, the benefit of
one of those technical expertise in managing or preserving most of these crops.
Okay, so we realize that during cultivation you have those insects and pests coming in. So you have the herbicide to use. Okay. We tell the right herbicide when to apply, the kind of fertilizer to use,
and how to,
the quantity, because all this put together will be, we actually make the products good, your harvest good or bad. So that's it basically. We teach you whatever practice, the international, based on international standards. So yes, we do all of that.
Oh, well, that is pretty much how far we can take on this particular edition of the interview session. Right about now, we'll take a short break, and when we return, Rise and Shine continues.
Let's not forget what makes us who we are. Indeed, we are a people of diversity.
We need to find our strength in diversity.
A people of many tongues.
Ina farin ciki da zama na ɗan Najeriya
On the way we see Nigeria. So Nigeria offer. Let's look at that thing that unites us together, which is the flag.
Many hold a strong sense of passion for this nation. All they need, it seems, is a little nudge, a reminder. We see it in our proud Nigerian moments.
Our proud Nigerian moment may not only be a point in time or an event in Nigeria. It could also describe our unique characteristics, what makes us who we are, what makes us proud Nigerians.
We look up once again to the flag as a symbol of hope, sharing in it the story of hope and victory, rekindling the spirits of patriotism, reminding every Nigerian that Nigeria is worth the try. Nigeria, arise. Nigeria, look up.
Yes, you're still on to Rise and Shine Delhi on Spectrum Television, and we are reaching you live from the very beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Now, I'm stressing that very well because you need to see the side of the beautiful hills. Yeah.
All right, great. Just so you know, we are on social media. We are live. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook with the handle at SpectrumTv NG. And of course, you can join us up on our website at www.spectrumtv.ng.
Okay, so before we went on a break, we had an entrepreneur in the house talking about agriculture. Now, moving away from that, we understand that there's a recent rise in the love of music in Nigeria and internationally.
Exactly. Now, very particularly is that we are having stars and internet acts that have gone international in the likes of Whiskey, the likes of Davido.
I just was waiting if you don't mention Davido. You probably just go home.
Becoming Grammy Award winner back to back.
you did call Burner.
Yeah,
How can you not call Burner?
Burner boy.
Burner.
Oh, Burner.
Yeah. Okay. moving on.
Okay, well, let's talk about the music essence. There's this video I've seen how people are really appreciating Nigerian kind of music all over the world now.
I think it's a craze. It's a rave at the moment. You find out that most Hollywood acts and artists would want to feature Nigerian artists.
Yeah.
And that's great stuff.
Yeah.
And then at the point, there was a time in our life I used to sit there and think, okay, what if so artist is being featured by this other artist? It would be great, but now it's happening like every other day. It's great to see that transition.
Yes.
That our music is becoming like I wouldn't say like it's more like
no. There was a time that when if you're in Nigeria, if you don't know the likes of Backstreet Boys, if you don't know the likes of
then you don't know anybody.
Then you don't know.
You don't know Michael Jackson.
So
you don't know anybody.
You talk about Celine Dion and Backstreet Boys and all those kind of guys, Westlife. A typical teenager now won't understand you.
No.
So now they flow more with the
Burner,
the Burner and all
the rest.
that.
And it's beautiful to see, all these beautiful artists having a collaboration, coming together, to raise each other. Not disputing the fact that maybe they might come up from different ethnicity, but they come together.
And do good music, underline good.
When passing the streets, maybe moving along the road, you hardly find someone play international songs.
No, things have changed. Things have changed. It's almost Naija pop. Yeah. Anyway, based on that, since it's the start of the weekend, and we're getting into the groove of the weekend, we'll take a short break, a music break. Wanted you to see something we're talking about.
Yeah, a choreography of essence.
Exactly. And when we come back, the show continues. Please stay with us.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that particular choreography. I find that quite interesting.
I did too, especially the fact that I said Ninja something.
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
that's
who
it.
Who wouldn't?
I mean, it brings a lot of pride into the equation, you know.
Exactly. I'm proud to be a Nigerian. Okay,
Of course I am.
let's take a quote for today. Always laugh when you can. It is cheap medicine.
Very true.
Okay. I like
Exactly.
it. Always laugh when you can.
Always laugh when you can. It is cheap medicine.
Think about it.
I mean, you don't really have to buy it.
You don't have
You
to.
just have to, you know.
It is cheap medicine.
I know research says that it takes a lot more muscle on the human face to frown
Exactly.
and less
Yeah,
to smile.
To smile.
And in my head, I'm
Why
thinking,
not
are you
smile
for me?
more?
So why don't you smile like forever?
And if you keep smiling, you'll be aging later.
You're not even aged like that. I don't even put age inside the question.
So you become more healthy. You become very healthy.
Yeah.
But if you're always frowning, everything is just
All the wrinkles
tight
will come
on the
out.
body. Come on.
Yeah,
You
true
grow
that.
old faster than you can imagine.
Alright.
Well, that has been the much we can take on this particular edition of Rise and Shine. Daddy.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's do this again tomorrow. Yes, it's coming back.
Yep,
back
the
better.
weekend edition.
This is weekend.
The
Man.
weekend edition.
The weekend edition.
Yes.
Okay. Oh God. The vibes.
Yeah, that's
The
not
bad booze.
the bass
I'm
booze.
telling you.
Right there.
Okay, so you keeping the date with us tomorrow,
Same time.
same time,
Same station.
same station.
That's
My name
right.
is Tubasi Tom.
And my name is Ubon Kings. Follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram with the handle at SpectrumTVNG and our website www.spectrumtv.ng.
And it's been Becky Bernard on the show. Do have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Hi everybody, this is Becky Bernard. You're on to Rise and Shine Show.
Hello, Nigeria. Welcome to Rise and Shine Show. My name is Tubasi Tom.
This is Rise and Shine. My name is Ubon